Let us pray. Almighty God, the creator and ruler of heaven and earth, we beseech thee to inspire and guide all our actions so that we always walk in the path of justice, love, and charity to one another. Help us with thy grace to do only those things that promote the unity, peace, happiness, and prosperity of Nigeria in general and Lagos State in particular. Amen. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. You are all welcome to today's sitting. We also apologize for the delay in commencement of today's sitting. Let us examine the further proceedings of Thursday, 15 February 2024. Ojúwe karùndínlógóje. Ọ̀rọ̀ ìbá kí sọ̀rọ̀.
Alága ẹ̀káàsán olùdarí, mo tọrọ àyè lọ́wọ́ yín sà pé mi ò ní lè wá sí ìpàdé tí a ṣe kọjá. Orúkọ mi dẹ̀ wà níbi tí
Akọ̀wé àgbà ẹ̀ bá ṣàtúnṣe. Ojúwe kẹrìndínlógóje. Ojúwe kẹtàdínlógóje. Aṣòfin olùbẹ̀gbọ́.
Ẹ káàsán olùdarí, mo tọrọ àyè lọ́wọ́ yín fún ọjọ́ yìí tí mo sí àná.
Akọ̀wé àgbà ẹ̀jọ̀ ẹ̀ bá ṣàtúnṣe. Aṣòfin Olúmọ.
Ẹ̀káàsán olùdarí, èmi náà tọrọ àyè lọ́wọ́ yín sà pé mi ò ní lè wá síjò. Ẹ ṣeun sà.
Akọ̀wé àgbà ẹ̀ bá ṣàtúnṣe. A ti ṣe àgbéyẹ̀wò ìjíròrò yìí tí ó kọjá ní ọjọ́bọ̀ ọjọ́ kẹẹ̀ẹ́dógún oṣù kejì ọdún kẹrìnlélókòólélẹ́gbàá a sì fi òǹtẹ̀lú. Any message from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, sir, good afternoon, sir. Distinguished honorable members, Good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, ma'am. There is no message from the
Any
government.
other announcement?
There is none, sir.
Petitions?
None, sir.
Matter of urgent public importance. Honorable Shegwege.
Right Honorable Speaker, I rise this morning as a matter of urgent public importance to discuss a matter of crisis on hardship rocking Lagosians, Mr. Speaker, in Lagos. Mr. Speaker, I think we all know that it is not business as usual in Lagos. Lagosians are facing hard time. And I think the issue of transportation in Lagos should be looked into. Prices of transportations can be subsidized, and of course the train fare can also be subsidized. Food palliatives should be given at every point in time and not just occasionally. And I will also want the local government to up their game. Local government chairmen should also up their game in doing all this. The issue of our hospitals, the antenatal care should be free of charge. The aged should be taken care of also free of charge, while our drugs should be subsidized at a very minimal rate. Also, Mr. Speaker, the youth should be totally engaged. There is high cost of living, which we all know in Lagos. People can barely rent a room for themselves. Mr. Speaker, I will humbly seek your permission to come up with my prayers, Mr. Speaker. To call on Mr. Governor to direct the various MDAs as follows: Ministry of Transportation, Lamata, Ministry of Wealth Creation, Ministry of Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Office of Civic Engagement, and most importantly, Ministry of Agriculture and other relevant agencies, as a matter of urgency, to come up with relevant measures to cushion the effect of the hardship rocking Lagos and Lagosians at large. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Adewale.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I rise today to support Honorable Ege with the matter of urgent public importance I have brought to the floor of the House today. Mr. Speaker, we are at a time where things are not easy, not just for Lagosians, but for the entire nation. Mr. Speaker, we are at a situation where policies are being made and implemented that is affecting the livelihood of every citizen in Nigeria and in Lagos. Mr. Speaker, a lot is happening. And as of this morning when I got to the office, I received a message from you, a letter. It was titled Save Our Soul from the BRT bus companies, asking to meet with the committee. I haven't met with them. But from the body of the letter, it says there is an impending problem that they might be facing crisis in transportation. Mr. Speaker, things are getting harder by the day. And if measures are not put in place to ensure that succor is given to the people, Mr. Speaker, the entire state and the nation is sitting on a keg of gunpowder. This is happening because a lot of policies are in place, implementing to the dollar to the naira, which is affecting a lot of things. But we must look holistically at what is happening. Mr. Speaker, at this point, even when not necessary, when the dollar does not affect commodity, price of commodity, the people, the citizens themselves are increasing the prices to affect those that are trying to purchase at the purchasing power. Mr. Speaker, at this point, there is the need for us to look for ways inward to ensure that we protect the people, their livelihood, so that we do not have another season of protest in state. Mr. Speaker, we also want to call on the governor to look for measures, all measures that can be taken and necessary steps to ensure that the people of Lagos are given succor to. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Tijani.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Let me also join my honorable brother from my federal constituency, Honorable Shegun Adebisi again. Mr. Speaker, the cost of living is very high, and this is as a result of economic regulation. And this has been a system for a very long time. We're supposed to be addressed by the previous administration, of which they failed. And this time around, if we fail to address this, it means Nigeria is in danger. And we actually feel the pains of our people. And of course, we also experience this hardship. But this time around, we need to call on the governor and local government chairman to at least put a measure to assist our people in terms of palliative, to make sure that at the end, we know we are going to enjoy Nigeria. But for now, there is need for them to come up with different measures to make sure that they curb the system to assist our people. Thank you very much, sir.
Honorable Ibrahim.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues. Mr. Speaker, sir, this current issue is a global issue. We're having hardships all over the world. The cost of living is going up astronomically in almost every country around the world. Just this morning, I read that UK and Japan may also be slipping into recession. But that is not the base of contentment, sir. Everybody is going through it. What we need to do is look inward at the types of social amenities that we can provide within our own state that would actually lend help succor the people. We can no longer be talking about palliatives at this point. Palliatives are just temporary measures. There's patching. We need to start creating the social amenities. And this starts at the local level, at the local government level. Recently, their income or the money they're to use, their jack has increased. What are they doing with it? They need to look at what they can do that's specific to their own local government to help provide succor. Just one example, sir, I'd like to do more clarification on it to confirm. But I heard that Odiolo local government, the local government chairman created a marketplace in which he subsidized all the produce that are coming to the local government, coming to that marketplace, so that the people are able to buy at cheaper prices. That's just one of the social amenities that could be created. I believe at the local government level, they need to now look at the direct things that would impact people's lives rather than keep talking about palliative. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Godipa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Once again, I want to appreciate Mr. Speaker for always being in tandem with the situation of things in the country. We cannot close our eyes, neither can we say we don't know what is happening currently. And just like the mover has rightly said, we need to do something urgently. And I also want to go the route of the last speaker, Mr. Speaker, that it is time for us to put our heads together and find solutions. If workers that are very close to us could be finding it difficult to get to work based on the current situation of things in the country, not to talk of those who don't have jobs, and they are more of the populace as of recently. So, Mr. Speaker, we've rightly been saying it, and you've talked severally about all these issues. And we need to call back our local government chairmen. We should see what they are doing that we could feel at home fronts. We could also tell our governor that we should sit together as stakeholders and look for the solutions. Because the way the bells are ringing and the way we are seeing things happen, if something urgently is not done, Lagos is where we all know that others want to follow. So we should continue to take that leadership role. And I want to continue to appreciate you, sir, that you need to also work just as you normally been doing, to call all the stakeholders involved, that this is the time to act. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Gulaya.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable again, for bringing this matter to the fore. It's a matter that can cause unrest in the public. I would suggest that the local governments and the state government make attempts to directly feed people, like having food kitchens where people can eat, go and eat in all the wards, I think that would be a novel idea. Then I would like them to support farmers as well within the state. Poultry farmers crying for feed. The state government can go buy feed for the farmers and give it to them at a subsidized rate. All these things will help push down food prices because hunger can drive people to unimaginable lengths. So I think a direct move at solving the hunger problems should be the focus of government, especially with the increased revenue that they all getting from the removal of subsidy. That is common knowledge to the common man on the streets. So that's a direct way of giving back to the people, I suggest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Bono.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Sir, first of all, let me first congratulate you on your voice on state police. We believe that the federal government have taken a drastic measure for creation of state police, and we know your impact on creation of state police. Having said that, sir, I would like to join my voice with my brother. The only thing I will add to is, sir, in the olden days, we always have what we call bulk purchase office, where people go there to buy food at subsidized rates. I think it is right time for us to look into that. And also, my colleague have said it, on the issue of local government, the allocation they are having. This time around, when the subsidy is being removed, they'll be having much more. What are they using it for? If they can be able to use it very well at the grassroots, we won't be having all this problem. So I will join my voice with my colleagues that we should follow what he said. Thank you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to join my voice with Honorable Ege on this matter of urgent public importance. We've all addressed everything basically. The most important staple foods we use in Nigeria are called the three sisters. That's the yam, rice, maize. So basically, what's the reason why we're having this hardship in this country? We're saying things are in place. Things are in place basically because we do not have agencies monitoring a certain price for certain things. So if our food produced are a certain price at this particular month, by the next month it's gone up. And so once it's gone up, it never comes down. So I would really like to task the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency, once prices, they should please put this in place to ensure that prices of food produce, once it's out, they should please monitor them and ensure that the prices are stable for our people. Also, just like they rightly said earlier, the local government, they should please ensure that our constituents have access to food produced at the right time. Because it is really important because people are starving, people are hungry, they need to eat. I saw a video being circulated recently where they were sharing bread in a particular constituency. I wasn't really sure, and it was a bread of 100 naira, and I could really see over 500 people to 1,000 people there. Another one of people sharing yam, and some people got injured, some people got trampled on. It shouldn't be that much. They have access to funds. Funds are higher than they were before, so now they should really be able to produce certain things for the people in the constituents. And also, finally, I would like to, just like I rightly said, I would like Honorable Ege to please add it to his prayers that an agency to monitor the prices of food once it rises and so it stays in the stable price. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Lumo.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Well, the issue is global, like Honorable Ajani said. However, Nigeria is having its own share of the global crisis that we well know that was occasioned by the Ukraine war with Russia, which has destabilized international trade. Recently, we have the Israeli war with the Hamas. It also has its own implication on the global economic setting. However, the issue of the regulation of the FS market and the subsidy is a necessity that we must face, and we are facing it. Every policy has its own consequences. But how prepared are we as a government to solving the problem of the hardship that we have, especially with Lagosians? And I will say, sir, that, Mr. Speaker, I want to again thank you at this point that you have been a Nostradamus of our time, because you are very futuristic about what happens or what is about to happen in our state in particular. You have always said this, that our hospital facilities must be taken care of, that we must have sporting facility to take care of our youth, that it could be even led to a productive activity that we can earn money from. You have said it on many occasions that our transport system needs to be subsidized. Have we made budgetary provision for this? The answer is yes. So there is no excuse for us taking the responsibility at this time to ensure that the right subsidy is provided for Lagosians in terms of solving the transportation issue, food issue, and so many more. Sir, I want to join Honorable Olumegbon on the issue of consumer protection. We have an agency that is saddled with that responsibility. Today, what happens in the market is that traders are looking at their reorder level, their stock level. So if prices, they anticipate that price will go up tomorrow and they increase their price accordingly. We need to protect our consumers. And this already happened. I saw what happened to Sahar store in Abuja, where the agency at the federal level went to that store, ensured that they sold all the stock of rice, over 5,000 bags that were, stored up, were sold at the price that is appropriate. The same thing happened in Kano. We have to look inward to solve our problem. The governor of Borno State has also done something in the area of transportation by making sure they have electricity powered vehicle. So we have to look at this direction. And Lagos is always leading. We must not fall behind. Thank you very much for the opportunity, sir.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. My honorable colleagues, please let me, what all our people have been saying, honorable member, I quite agree with them. But this one, I think, sir, people are suffering now, sir. Most especially if you come to my constituency in Mushin. People are suffering, there is nothing for them, even to eat. I think the best thing for us to do now is to have what they call food banking. Food bank. So people can be going in each constituency. Maybe the governor can do that. So, like subsidize, people can go there and buy what they need, sir. Maybe we'll be paying, as said by honorable member. That happened during the festival. The one Honorable Ajala is doing at Odolowo. Maybe he can do more. Let's talk. You and Speaker, give it to you, sir. You met with this council chairman. You met with them sometime December, if I'm right, that they should do something concerning our people. They should be giving palliative. And when we are talking of palliative is not the issue. We are just giving like 3 tomato or a small rice or not 2 trica. Or maybe they should look for another way, sir. And to Mr. Governor, I think urgently, sir, we need something now that people can lay their hand on. That at least food is very, very important. During the 1976, during the Murtala Mohammed regime, people now came out, they talk about Muri this, Muri that. So if they can do that, Lagos State is buoyant enough to be a country. So we can do something like that, maybe to get it or to go to neighboring states here, neighboring states, get something that we can get, look for another place in time of farming, so people can come there, at least put more smile to people in Lagos State. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Right, Honorable Speaker. One man above many. Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Speaker, I want to celebrate your sagacity once again for matters that affect Lagosian directly. You don't take them for joke at all. And I also want to commend my wonderful brother, Honorable Ege, for bringing this to the floor of the House. Mr. Speaker, I've listened to my colleagues with keen interest, and I pick a few points from what they've raised. But how do we make this sustainable? Because we need to be sincere with ourselves. Where we've met ourselves, we move in gradually. Really, it's a global, let me call it, it's a global pandemic that affects every of these country in the whole world now. But how do we make it sustainable, sir? Mr. Speaker, number one, we must promote urban agriculture. Mr. Speaker, let me use this as a case study. Where the evil kidnapper used as a covered body in Igbogobaiko and Nigeria, the land alone is over 300 meters. The Lagos State can key into and make it a farm settlement that can also produce few of these agricultural produce that can even bring down the price of goods and community in our state. Mr. Speaker, aside from this area, we have other areas that the state can also key into. In Lagos State, we are not doing anything to grow even our crops ourselves. We depend on our neighboring states and states far from us for them to send in agricultural produce for us to be able to now to subsidize for our people. Mr. Speaker, we must promote urban agriculture. I can tell us for free from people that are professional in farm that they say by May and June, a basket of tomato will cost close to 70,000 or 80,000. What are we doing to prepare for this? And the only way we can prepare for this is to promote urban agriculture. Mr. Speaker, one thing I want to raise again, Lagos State also needs to go into fish up. We have the natural habitat, and we are not making use of them. Out of the 100% fish we consume in Lagos, over 85% of them is being imported. And if we need to reduce this and also to make more money, we need to make use of our natural inhabitants by raising fish. We need to also have a fish hub in Lagos State that will promote our youth, because we will engage plenty youth from this. We will also reduce part of what we export into the state. Mr. Speaker, I want to charge all of us, most especially those of us that are Yoruba and those of us that are technocrats, because we are the one that is now saying few things that we don't even need to be saying against this government. And some of us are even joining it directly, but we are saying negative things to condemn this government. And some of us know that this is a global pandemic that we need to resolve at this time. So I want to charge every of the youth watching me far and near that we should stop condemning this government, because what is happening is not only happening to Lagos or to Nigeria alone. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Jomali.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. First of all, let me appreciate Honorable Ege for moving this matter of urgent public importance. We are all aware, and this is why we also appreciate the Right Honorable Speaker for creating a platform for allowing members to actually speak to matters that concerns Lagosians and Nigeria as a whole, when it is very important. Mr. Speaker, my angle will seem a little different, because I want us to look at some of the genesis of what is causing the hardship and the immediate solutions in which we can prefer. We talk a lot about subsidy removal. People are complaining because that's one of the major factors that seems to be affecting the economy. However, we do not look at the advantage of what the subsidy removal has done for Nigeria and for Lagos, automatically creating more money that is coming to the purse of the state and that of the local government. As it is, according to calculations, we're looking at about a 60% increase in the monthly income to the states and to the local government. So the question is, with the excess in which is coming now, what have you done automatically to affect the lives of Lagosians or your local government residents? What are we doing to impact their lives positively, concerning and knowing that there is economic hardship everywhere? Mr. Speaker, sir, we are aware that you've called for a series of meetings on how we can look for and how to prefer solutions to immediate solutions. I appreciate my honorable brother, Honorable Arumoshood, concerning the matter of still raising Igbobo and the bushes in the place there. However, I think what we're looking at is some of the immediate solutions. And I have some suggestions that we can look at for the states and that of the local government. We can look at fiscal programs, sir. Fiscal policies in the sense of maybe tax reductions in some of the tax matters that involve citizens and people who are operating in businesses. We can look for how to reduce taxes that are being collected from them, either from markets or from all of these businesses in which they are operating, to assist and to ease their economic hardship as well. Also, we can look at healthcare, Mr. Speaker. Immediately, we can look for a way to subsidize or reduce the cost of healthcare in the states and in that of the PHCs, to the extent that we understand that, Mr. Governor, at some point we had, he reduced or totally removed the cost of, I think, mother and child in hospitals where you can more or less have a baby without any payment. However, it goes beyond just the mother and child. How about people who have accidents every day? How about people who need to watch their blood pressure, all of these things? So to the extent of the PHCs also providing free healthcare programs for either the elderly and even the younger generation as well. We also need to look at transportation, Mr. Speaker. These are some of the immediate solutions. We look at transportation, yes, they said there's a reduction in maybe the cost of BRT, but how many people even fly BRT? Yes, they're quite a number. But BRT doesn't go to all the locations. Is there a way the government can meet with the union bodies that are in charge of transportation and look for how to subsidize, maybe pay a certain amount, half of the money, and while the other half is paid by the residents of Lagos State? These are some of the solutions in which we can look for to prefer for the ease of the economic hardship for Lagosians. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Konao.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. I want to commend the proponent of this motion. It's spot on. Mr. Speaker, the raging crisis in food insecurity, high rise in virtually all our physiological needs, high rise in transportation fare, high rise in food, cost of food and all of that, calls for all hands being on deck. Virtually all honorable members have provide one solution or the other. And every week in, week out, as we come to the parliament, we have been discussing this issue since we resumed from recess. It is this issue of I rise this, I rise that. What I would want to suggest, sir, is that we are full of ideas, potpourri of ideas. I want to say that we put it together and engage the executive, the governor. Yes, we have a responsibility to do that. We can have an engagement with the executive and share ideas with them as to how we can resolve all these issues. Yes, before now, the governor introduced the subsidy on transportation, the BRT buses, but it has been discontinued. I wonder why. We were just informed by the chairman of the House Committee on Budget that there are provisions for, subsidy on transportation. So we must give it a harder look. So it's important that we engage the executives, to come together and provide solution to all of this problem. It is high time that we address the issue pungently, seriously, and frontally. I thank you, sir.
Honorable Kasum.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, at this time, it is, however, time for an actionable roundtable conference from all arms of government. No doubt, there is hardship in the land. And so far, so good. Palliatives, different measures, they've been given, and we know that they were temporary. Mr. Speaker, in my opinion, I feel like this is not the time for us to concentrate more on revenue collection and what have you. Governance is about give and take. At this time, this is the time to concentrate more on giving financial aid to the citizenry to help further ameliorate the unseen hardship that has been witnessed in our land so far. Mr. Speaker, also, I want to believe that the hoarding of the foreign exchange currencies is part of what is causing issues within the country as a whole. This must stop. The inflow of the Nigerian currency must be further encouraged. However, just like other speakers had mentioned, the exploitation of the dollar rise by retailers and what have you to consumers in terms of consumption goods must actually be curtailed. And I'm very happy that at the federal government level, this has already started. And this is something that we must also encourage at the state level here in Lagos State. Market traders, however, are lamenting seriously at the high costs
of purchase of some of these goods that they also try to resell. We appreciate the efforts of Mr. Governor recently in terms of the trader money initiative, the intervention, but there is need to do more if we want things to be better. If this narrative is not changed, however, Mr. Speaker, I want to believe that the recession in our land would be a bit worse, but I pray that we will not get to that point. Right Honorable Speaker, as a person and as a House, on behalf of all other honorable members, you do your best to make sure that there is a lot that is given back to the people. But this is a time where the synergy from the rest of the arms of government that we have in the state, the executive, the judiciary, and every other hands on board have to come together for a better solution at this time. People are lamenting, people are suffering, and it is time for us to bring out actionable plans that will transform this situation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Said.
Good afternoon, Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues. All my distinguished colleagues have said one thing or another relating to the hardship in the land. Well, it is not new, and it is not peculiar to Lagos State or Nigeria alone. As I'm talking to you presently, a bag of rice in Cameroon is 137,000 naira. In Ghana, it is approximately 97,000 naira. But we are not comparing ourselves with these two countries. The fact is that most of our policies, during the budget section, that most of the MDAs and agencies came to us, we emphasized this. That was the more reason why we are hammering on the usage of CNG. We have good workforce that could turn most of these automobiles into CNG so that we divert a little bit from petroleum. The hardship in the lands is occasioned by the removal of the petroleum subsidy and the float of the naira. And that is a needed necessity for us today. It is something that we need to go through today so that our tomorrow will be. When other subsequent government were borrowing money, Nigeria is owing up to 100 trillion naira. When do we intend to pay all this debt? Where do we even intend to pay this money from? We cannot continue like this as a nation. But the solution is what I want to talk about this afternoon. Number one, the Lagos State government must work with Lamata in making sure that most of the moribund buses, some of them, few, will be converted to CNG. That is one palliative. Another thing that the state government has done is that issue of palliative for cesareans and for pregnant women. I think that is a little bit of relief in that medical section. Another one that we need to pay adequate attention is that rise of a lot of money was invested into that project. But it is clearing that this project without paddy, it may not solve this problem. So we consummate a white elephant talks project without having the fundamentals of where the raw materials is going to come from. If we can have enough paddy from some of our partners, I think it will still make us a little bit to still dictate the price that rice should still be. So even in our institutional reform, most of our schools, if you go to Sudan, we go to Egypt, the faculty of agriculture should be able to own a farm. Even UNAB here in Abeokuta, every student has a day that they go for agricultural extension. We should now start telling ourselves the truth that with your degree, with your master's, with your PhD, you may not be able to get the white-collar job that you intend, but we must work harder. This is our country. If you travel out of the country, you travel to UK or America or Canada, you do some of these menial jobs that you are not deemed fit to do in your country. But we must come back here and create an enable environment as a government for these people to start taking pride. I want to go back to farm. Even if it is subsistence farming, I want to provide 3 crates of eggs for my family. I want to make sure that I have beverage, fruit, I have vegetables on my table. That is the kind of orientation that we are developed with, that we are trained up with. But this nowadays, you find out that a family will rely everything from the farm. And even these people that are even when we are growing up, we have the Yoruba tomatoes, we have the Yoruba atarodo, we have our own alubosa. But all these things has been given up to people that will now depend on a region to be supplying most of these things. If you go to our village, we have our own yam. If you go to our village, we have our own tomato. Where are all these things? People should start taking pride in subsistence farming. When we are growing up in our secondary school, we have farm in our primary school, in our secondary school. Every Friday we go and visit our farm. We have dog. We know how to keep poultry. Most of these things have eluded us as a Nigerian, and this thing has accumulated into a very big problem. It is a catastrophe. Even the issue of insecurity. Mr. Speaker, you are notorious, according to what most of my friends have said. The issue of that state police will put security back to order. When most of these things are done, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kasim, in 2 minutes, please. Oh, before you, Honorable, record your 2 minutes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, sir. I also want to join my other colleagues to commend Honorable again for coming up with this. Mr. Speaker, sir, my colleagues have said a lot on the causes and what we can do. I just want to add my voice. I believe that this hardship we are talking about, the Chairman Committee on Transport came up to tell us the fears of our BRT buses, drivers and all that. Sir, I believe that if the state government can make the bus free either 1 or 2 days in the week, it's going to do a lot in reducing cost of transportation to offices or when our people are going, and it's going to help us a lot in terms of reducing hardship on them. And also, I want us to call on the local government chairman to improve on drug supply to our health centers, and not just improve on drug supplies, but at a highly subsidized rate for our people. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kasim.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker, sir. I rise up to join my colleagues in calling on government of Lagos State and the president to do something urgently and immediately to ameliorate the sufferings of the people. To say there is hunger in the land is an understatement, sir. Every local government, every ward you get to in Lagos State, you see people telling you, we are hungry, we are hungry, we are hungry. Sir, I just need to add my own. If the House will take it from me, sir. People have been talking about agriculture. We should all know that now the insecurity in the country has affected our agri products, because so many of our farmers are being killed on their farms by the bandits and the terrorists, most especially in the northwest and northeast of Nigeria. And it has been coming down to the southwest too. So this has affected our agri outputs very, very well, sir. I will call on the government, sir, to do 2 things, if possible, sir. They should see to our health issues, sir. Maybe they should either subsidize some of our drugs on some ailments like hypertension, diabetes, because in countries like UK, once you are diagnosed as being diabetic or having high blood pressure, they'll be giving you free medications throughout your life for these ailments. If Lagos State can do such a thing, please, I think it will help us, sir. Thank you, sir.
Honorable Isha, 2 minutes.
Mr. Speaker, good afternoon, honorable colleagues. I want to also show my appreciation to Honorable again for bringing up this topic. My colleagues have spoken extensively about what the problems are and what can be done. We've looked at the issues of food, looked at health, transportation, and so on and so forth. But I also would like to add that our main problem is not scarcity.
Our problem is pricing. Pricing because of a foreign exchange. You still see food, it's available, but you can't afford it. That is more like what the problem is. Government should subsidize transportation, yes, subsidize food, give out the palliatives, and so on and so forth. But let's look at also, in addition to while that is being done, what are the other things government should be doing? One of my colleagues mentioned here CNG. Yes, CNG, you bring down the cost of transportation over time. But that's also dependent on the level of dollarism, because it's priced in dollars. But of course, if we are able to get it's produced in Nigeria, that will help. Solar will also bring down transportation. The power has been devolved to the state. Our state government should see how we can generate enough power for Lagos State. That should be something on the front burner right now for us to achieve. Another thing we've seen is that what is the problem of a dollar now in Nigeria, or foreign currency? Availability. FDIs are not coming in. FPIs are not coming in. What we are exporting cannot meet what we are importing. So we need more dollars. Fortunately, Lagos State, our Lagos State, by record, Nigerian Bureau of Statistics shows that 60% of FDIs are coming to this country come to Lagos State. Security is an issue. We've discussed it on this floor. Security, we can do a lot more. We are talking, thank God, Mr. Speaker, like one of my colleagues mentioned here, the state police by God's grace, will soon come to life. But in addition to that, our neighborhood safety corps can be an intelligence unit. Develop it further for intelligence so that we'll be able to have forensic. I don't even understand how crime is solved without forensic, so that can also be on the table. Mr. Speaker, you said something here, I think 2 sessions back. You mentioned that people that are holding foreign currencies, hoarding it is the word you used, something needs to be done. That is the biggest problem in Nigeria today. Dollar is scarce. Scarce. If anybody wants to buy dollar today, go out there and say you want to buy $1,000. It's not there. Those prices we are seeing is due to scarcity of dollars. People are hoarding this money, holding this money. The federal government needs to take a drastic step to make people push this money back to the market. Money is created for exchange. It's not for storage. It's not where you used to keep money in houses. Money that should be kept should be in the banks. So something needs to be done, short of creating a legislation that prohibits people holding such level of money. Mr. Speaker, I believe if you look at that power, if you look at using CNG and solar for transportation, and something being done about the foreign currency being held back, being hoarded, this issue may be able to, we can be able to tackle this issue. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm attempted to allow the rest of our colleagues to also contribute, but as you can see, we have said so much that we are now rephrasing those things that have been said. So I want to appeal to those who are here to make contribution to let us go along with what we have had. There is no doubt that we all understand the fact that there's a challenge before us as representative of the people, as part of the government. When you say government, it is all about all of us. It's not the executive. It's not about governor only. It's about the parliament as well, and the judiciary and every other person you can think of. So, and it is the duty of all of us to provide solution. To provide solution. It's unfortunate that we are all facing this now. This is a situation that has started long ago, before now. You know, graduating, breeding, till we got to this stage. At least the forest issue, as we all know, did not start now. the rise in cost of food stuffs did not start now. It has implications, and most of us have raised it. We talk about how the farmers have been prevented from going to farm by activities of the herdsmen, Boko Haram, kidnappers, and the rest of them. And definitely, if they do not have access to farm, there's no way they are going to farm, and there's no way we get, farm produce. In addition to that, even the little that somehow got to the markets here in Lagos, we do not have preservation. There are perishable goods that went to get to market today within 2-3 days. Definitely they will become waste, since there's no provision for storage that can protect them until they are being utilized. And these are areas that we need to look at. And the unfortunate thing, the most unfortunate thing about all this are the comments coming from our leaders, majority of our leaders all over the nation, from southwest to the northeast, to the northwest, south, southeast. Everybody has become an economist. Everybody has come anything you can think of. But instead of using their wisdom to persuade and appeal to the masses, they are more of inciting people against the government. As if they were not around before now. As if the federal government has been sleeping since June up till now. And for me, I strongly believe there's no miracle, there's no, kind of abracadabra anywhere that will turn the situation around, but than to exercise patience and cooperate, also collaborate with federal government to work things out. We cannot leave the federal government in isolation to provide solutions to our problems. We must all join hands together to look for solutions. Most of them you have provided, but we are talking about Lagos because that is our immediate responsibility. The fact is that Lagos is not an island. We still need to collaborate. Of recent, the Niger governor said they should not move, transport food from a state to another. Fine. He has done well. I would have done the same thing too. Because his immediate responsibility is all about the people in Niger. He has to protect their interests. Likewise, we in Lagos, we must protect our interests. We must serve our people first. And same thing goes for Southwest. As observed by one of us, that those we need, the farming, we used to produce this, the cassava, the yam, the potato, tomatoes, and every other thing. So what happened? So, the way forward is also to call on our governors in Southwest to come together and develop a strategy that will enhance food production, that will prevent our reliance on the, maybe on any state, any region, even outside the country. And this is possible. We have done, which has been turning out, policies, strategies, and every other thing you can think of that only need to be adopted by the governor so that we can be independent in time like this. So the question is, how far have they done? How far have they utilized those things that they've done, as pushed forward? I would say that the immediate concern is to appeal to our people that we have to exercise patience. Protest, riot, violence is not going to solve anything. Else, it's going to take us backward. So we must all exercise patience. Nobody pray for this, and no one wish this situation will happen. So we must work hand in hand. The people, the government, we must work hand in hand, to get out of this mess. There is a total mess. You look at the cost of fuel, cost of diesel, transportation, every other food, bag of rice, bag of beans. But it's not Mr. President's fault. Likewise, it's not Mr. Governor's fault. Fine, they have been saddled with responsibility to serve our people. And when you want to serve people, is to make people feel comfortable, feel convenient, and enjoy, what we call humanity, as it should be. So what we have to do, number one, concerning us in Lagos, is to call on the Mr. Governor. Or before that, let me also commend the governor, because he has taken steps that deserve commendation. Last week, traders' money took place. Marketers were giving money to support them. The medical stop was also announced. And today I also saw the platform when they were removing people from under the bridge. That's okay, they are going to create sport facilities to enhance, the quality of our youth. So we must commend the governor for what he has done. Why we also want to call on him that there's need for us to improve. 15,000 people were giving 50,000 naira, market women and men. Fine, we might look at the size of the fund amount that, okay, probably we can do more. Yes, we can do more to improve that. And some of us have spoken about transportation. The government is not running transportation. We are not responsible for Lagbus. Which other one? Lagbus, Primero, and all. These are people, individuals. So the government should engage them, because this moment is a moment that we have to look for the, good standard living of our people than any other thing. And in doing that, to make life more easier and convenient for them, the government should engage them to work out what is possible, at least for some period, where we will get out of this inflation. If they have to subsidize, if we have to run it free, if we have to, whatever they think will work out, because we are not in position, we don't know, the nitty-gritty of the system. So, but whatever they can do, that will make life more comfortable for our people, they should adopt, they should start doing that. And we've spoken about sports all the while, taking our youths away from the streets. And we are emphasizing it again, even from federal to state. We are not doing enough. Particularly now that we don't have much factories, industries to accommodate these youths. Sport is an alternative, as we have seen and witnessed in other countries. It could be through football, boxing, table tennis, and every one of them. Let us inject money in all this and make it attractive. Attractive for our youth. So every one of them will be engaged. Idle hand, we say. Devil workshop. They have gone to school. They have graduated. No job. So when they have alternative, they can become rest of those, like those we have known. You talk to Joshua, you talk about many of them. We talk about Messi, you talk about Ronaldo, you talk about Osaka, you talk about Fenos, you talk about all of them. They started as youths. So when we create this platform, so many of them here, and our system of education should also be adjusted. Now, we do not need more people to work as administrators, secretariats, no more. The era has come and gone. Now we should emphasize on what they can become on their own. When you go to school and you finish schooling, that you can start doing something on your own without, seeking or applying for jobs. So we need to address all these. It may not be immediate solution, but for the future. Both federal and also state, there's need for orientation and sensitization. Negative news all over, social media, anything. It is all about negative. People crying for food, people begging for food, people doing all sorts. And it's like the government is not doing enough. So the government must also engage the instruments of, media, to get back to the people all they've been doing, all they intend to do, so they can pacify people. We must not leave this to the fifth columnists that are ready to destroy this country. We have Ministry of Information at the state, in all the states, at the federal level. What are they doing? I think government voice must be louder than the people who are hell-bent to destroy this country. All that has been flying around, all that we be saying is all about a big power, as if the government has not been doing anything. Our local government, even though we observe that they need to do more, all of them have been doing. As they are doing palliative, even it may not be enough, but they are doing something. Nobody is talking about it. The members of House of Assembly, they are doing something. Nobody is talking about it. Of recent, the National Assembly members, House of Representatives, they were also distributing all sorts of this. Nobody is talking about. Why the negative news always? So the government must also embark on campaign. We must sensitize our people, orientate them, let them understand the issue at hand and what the government is doing and what they have done and how we are going to provide solution. It's not about keeping quiet, not this time around. So it is a challenge to each one of us too. And in rounding up, we have said that the governor must call a stakeholder meeting involving everybody in Lagos. The senators representing Lagos, the members of House of Representatives, the members of House of Assembly, the council chairman, and the member of the cabinet. We must come together to think and come out with position that will be beneficial to our people in Lagos. It is not a one-man show. We must all come together in the interest of all of us. they must all come together in the interest of all of us to address this. And in addition to that, the House Committee on Agric also should call a commissioner for Agric to tell us what they have put in place, what they intend to do. I will have, asked to someone to come and brief all of us. But I think it's better for the committee to invite the commissioner to listen and hear from what they are doing. And also the chairman committee on transportation to also invite all the ministry, parastatal agencies that has to do with transportation to tell us what they have in place and how to go about it in terms of, measure to reduce this, I don't know how I should put it, pain confronting our people. So that when we collate all this together, we can also easily address our people that this is what we've been doing, this is what we have done, and this is what we intend to do. We represent the people. We are their mouthpiece. So as part of urgency, all these committees must embark on this assignment immediately. We would have loved to invite the governor as well, as it has been allowed that there should be state of states address. But we also ask the governor to call all of us together, all the stakeholders, because if he address us, what about others that are also stakeholders? So to invite all of us so that we can sit together and provide solution. I think all these are what we are going to adopt as the resolution of the House in this motion being brought by Honorable Shegun Ege. So, Honorable, and one other thing that we said last time, and somebody has re-emphasized, we keep on talking about the dollars, and somebody told me yesterday that cement, they use lime, and it's in Nigeria, which simply means it's a fixed rate. Only other materials, which is not more than 20% or 30% of turning it to cement. So how come cement is rising at every step that the dollar also rises? According to people, the cement, a bag of cement is almost 10,000 naira now. Eh? So what? The same thing with iron. Most times they use scrap. Fabricate scrap and turn it to iron. And it's always full of carbon. If I'm right, is it not carbon that they use for iron? So how come what we make locally are also becoming so expensive? At least America is the center of the capitalism in the whole world. But national interest is very important. So we must learn to protect our own national interests as well. And the government must step in. Step in. And administer sanction where necessary. How can we generate, excavate lime? I must say, limestone for cement. At least the 70 or almost 80% content of cement. Whatever they are bringing in, at what rate? So I think we need to address this. The government also needs to look at this. And if there's anything that the producers are facing, they should table it before the whole world and let us understand. If there are some things they are bringing in that are so expensive that the main content of the materials, they should let us understand. But I think the government should step in. The national interest is very important. And those who have been going about inciting people, they should be cautioned. They should be cautioned. It shouldn't be negative, 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 as if the government has gone slumber without doing anything. Everybody should be cautioned. And as we have said, dollars, we have borrowed, we have supported, remittance is there. Where does it go? In the market today, they are not spending dollars. Where are they giving? So government should engage these people. Government should engage them. We are not saying they should go about seizing people's money, but they should be engaged in such manner that it will be beneficial to the nation and as well to the interests of our Naira. So, Honorable Ege, if you have your prayers ready, let's hear.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, the Speaker above common standard of excellence. Right Honorable Speaker, I totally align with your recommendation as amended. Thank you so much, sir.
I don't know my recommendation that you are lying to. I don't know my recommendation that you are lying. Now, I was trying, and I said, yeah. Okay. That this house will call on Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, to summon stakeholders meeting that includes the House of the Senators, the House of Rep, the House of Assembly, Council Chairman, members of Cabinet, to deliberate on the current issues affecting the people of Lagos. To call on Ministry of Information to embark on orientation and sensitization of the public on measures being taken by the government. Also for the House Committee on Agri Transportation and Agri Transportation to invite the ministry, parastatal agencies under its supervision for deliberation on what measure or measures are being put in place to relieve the pains of our people. And to call on our elites in Nigeria to disembark on negative publication and incitement of the people to avoid chaos and riots. That is true. So, Honorable again.
As amended, Mr. Speaker.
Who is second? Honorable Ajomale.
I rise to second the motion as moved, Mr. Speaker.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those against, nay, the ayes have it. Let me seize this moment to recognize in our midst today the presence of Dr. Afolabi Abiodun Tajuddin, SA Political and Legislative, and Civic Engagements. You are most welcome. Thank you for coming. Also with us, we have the presence of 27 students of Mbayo School, 1 Uze Street, Jibowu Yaba, Lagos, at the gallery to observe today's sitting, led by Mr. Olusola Muiwa, Ms. Duru Eberishuku, Mrs. Nasin Akin Akala. You are all welcome. We thank you for coming. I'm also personal explanations None. Reports? None. Laying of report, Honorable Majid Fatai.
Good afternoon, Right Honorable, fellow honorable members. It is my pleasure to lay a report of the 12-man ad hoc committee on the screening of governor nominees into members of the various commission and management board, I so lay.
I think there should be adjustment to other paper, laying report and confirmation. After laying, there should be presentation. Majority, maybe you should just move motion to adjust, even though it's going to be further. Majority Leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I wish to move that the order paper be adjusted to presentation of report.
Adjustment after item A. You change item B to presentation, and item B become item C.
Okay, sir. As adjusted by you, sir. I so move, sir.
Who has the line? I approve, Honorable Jamali.
I rise to second the motion as moved, Mr. Speaker.
All in favor say aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Majority Leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, presentation of reports by Honorable Fatai Majid, and also confirmation of governor's nominee into membership of commission and management board. Thank you, sir.
I don't we have further presentation of the reports.
Okay. Good afternoon once again. On 24th January 2024, the committee invited all the nominees of the Mr. Governor, and the questions were asked based on their CV and their proposed position to be occupied. The nominees of the Mr. Governors are Mrs. Idowu Abimbola Adiola, Lagos State Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Gbadamosi Abiodun, Member Lagos State Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Agbaje Olusegun Jamiu, Lagos State Teaching Service Commission, Mr. Adebayo Nojim, Lagos State Health Management Agency Governing Board, Mr. Abisola Bisiriu Are, Chief Executive Officer, Lagos State Lottery Board, while Prince Fatiu Agbola Akiolu, Managing Director, Lagos State Signage and Advertising Agency. We asked the question based on the directive, and all the nominees of the Mr. Governor responded to all the questions raised by the members. And we have discussed the outcome of our findings at our parliamentary level. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving us the opportunity to carry out these assignments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and the members of the committee. If there is any if there's any observation, contribution to the report has been rendered by the chairman. If there's none, pursuant to section 4, subsection 2, paragraph A, paragraph I of Lagos State Health Scheme Law 2015, this House do confirm the appointment of Dr. Adebayo Nojim Adelewe as the chairman, Lagos State Health Management Agency Governing Board. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Pursuant to section 6 of Lagos State Teaching Service Commission Law 2018, this House do confirm the appointment of Mr. Bangboyi Abiodun as a member of Lagos State Teaching Service Commission. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Pursuant to section 389, subsection 1 of Environmental Management Protection Law 2017, this House do confirm the appointment of Prince Adigbola Fatiu Akiolu as General Manager, Lagos State Signage and Advertising Agency. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Pursuant to section 6 of Lagos State Teaching Service Commission Law 2018, the House do confirm appointment of Mr. Agbaje Oluseun Jamiu as a member of Lagos State Teaching Service Commission. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Pursuant to section 6 of Lagos State Teaching Service Commission Law 2018, this House do confirm the appointment of Mrs. Idowu Abimbola Adeola as a member of Lagos State Teaching Service Commission. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Pursuant to section 20, subsection 1 of Lagos State Lottery and Gaming Authority Law 2021, this House will confirm appointment of Mr. Abisola Bashir Are as Chief Executive Officer, Lagos State Lottery Board. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. Mr. Clark, kindly send letter of confirmation to Mr. Governor on the approval of his nominees. Majority Leader. Majority Leader.
Right Honorable Speaker, distinguished colleagues, I have the approval of the Right Honorable Speaker to move that this House adjourn till Thursday, 22nd of February at 10 a.m. I so move, sir.
Honorable Lawal.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion being moved by the Majority Leader. Thank you, sir.
There will be a short meeting immediately after sitting. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those against nay, the ayes have it. This House stands adjourned till Thursday, 22nd February 2024 at 10 a.m. prompt. I rise.